Now, as I told you, in the seventh house, the Jupiter, how it works. Move down to the eighth house. Eighth house is the house of deep secrets, sudden happenings, sudden transformation, deep knowledge, research work, deep ocean down under the earth is seen from the eighth house. Death is seen from the eighth house. This is the death house. Sorry, this is the age house, how long you will live. Okay. When the Jupiter is present here, this person will have interest in finding out the deep mystical subjects. He will try to learn those subjects. He will always have a knowledge of. He will always try to gain the knowledge from these subjects, because when this house Jupiter is present, the knowledge significator goes deep into the earth and try to get take those gems out of the earth of the knowledge. So if the person has a Jupiter here with a combination of or aspect of Mercury somewhere with that, or also the Lagna has a combination with the Jupiter or aspect, that person becomes an astrologer or a tantric, either one. Okay. And also this person, when Jupiter is here, this person can become a research doctor, because this house is a house of research. This house is a house of certain transformation. So when you see a scientist or a person who do research work, will suddenly find out a truth about the nature, and he will come up with the truth, and he will write down a journal on the research work. That's why this house is called the unpredictable house. You cannot predict what's going to happen here. Moved on to the ninth house. Ninth house is the house of spirituality, law and order. Law and order here is for the religion. Okay, the person who has a Jupiter here in a good position will always be religious, and he will try to follow the religion in the right way as written in the books. He will do the puja the right time. He will eat the right food according to the Vedas and Granthas. So all he do is just work according to the set system of the Granth. That's how the ninth house, the house of religion, is also called the house of law of religion. Okay, this is the house of higher studies. Also, the person will get higher studies when the Jupiter is here. Will get the good studies, maybe PhDs or master degrees. This is also called the house of luck. 10th house, when Jupiter is here, it expands. The 10th house, the person will gain managerial level jobs or managerial level respect, or even more higher CEO level respect when Jupiter is present here, because Jupiter is expansion of knowledge, expansion of prestige and power. So for example, if Sun is also sitting with it, Sun is authority and power, Jupiter is wisdom and respect. So knowledge, wisdom, respect is combined with the authority of a king, and then person becomes a high level manager, or it could be a CEO of the company. That's how Jupiter works with the 10th house. 11th house is the house of your gains. So whenever the Jupiter is present here, it expands on the gains through your elder brothers and sisters, through the higher profile people. When you join the hands with the higher profile people, you get the more benefits when the Jupiter is present here. When the Jupiter Dasha will come, the person's profits or extra source of income start increasing. Okay. 12th house. 12th house is the house of moksha. Final journey is the 12th house. Is a house of jail, hospital, and everything related to that. Okay, when the Jupiter is here, the person would say has a knowledge to get moksha. He will always try to get knowledge of moksha, how to get rid of this life, how to become eternal. He will always think that way. Okay, so Jupiter here also gives this thing. And if imagine if Ketu is sitting with Jupiter, Ketu is the student of Jupiter, so he will always Ketu when present here gives moksha. Okay, and Jupiter is sitting with that. That means it is a very good combination of getting moksha. So this was all about Jupiter in 12 houses. You can practice on it. You might find some new things when you apply Jupiter on it. So write it down on a page, in a notebook. Don't miss them whenever you find a new thing, and make a notes and try to analyze what happens in Jupiter is where which placed. Now, as I promised you, I want to tell you something about how to look into the a birth chart, how to predict about a birth chart. Just give you one example. This is the D1 chart. D1 means the natal first chart. So the D1 chart, let me see. Let's talk about the 5th house and 10th house. Okay. 10th house is a house of profession. 5th house is a house of creativity. Okay. 11th house is the house of gains and 12th house is the house of expenses. Now, for example, if I would say here is number 3, okay, then 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 9, and 10. For example, in this house, Mercury is placed, okay, Mars is also placed, then here let me put Sun here, and here Mars, okay, and then here is Saturn. So what we would say with this combination, in my point of view, I would say that this person, the 5th house lord, which is Mercury, because here is number 3. Number 3 is Gemini. Lord of Gemini is Mercury. So when Mercury looks sits into the 10th house with the Sun, okay. Now here what's happening is the 5th house is the house of creativity, okay. 5th house is also a house of gambling, speculation. So when this person, Mercury sits here with the Sun, imagine if it is not combusted in that case, then here what's happening is the talent, the creativity of the person is being transferred into the profession house. So the person, whatever he likes to do, whatever his creativity is, will be doing it as a profession. Most of the people don't do that. Most of the people study something else and do something else. People study MBA and they work as subway managers. People study doctor and they work as in the fashion industry. So that's what happens. But in this case, it is very straight and simple. 5th house lord is sitting in the 10th house. This will make a person a broker, agent, or it will make a person who works in the field of shares, share market, lottery system, because the 5th house is also house of lottery speculation. So it will go in this house. That means the person will adopt that thing as a profession. And this house has 8 number sign, which is Mars is sitting in the 11th house. 11th house is a house of gains, wealth, your profits. So the 10th house lord, which is a profession, goes into the house of profits. The person will work with the speculation and that work will go into the profits. He will make profit from that business. And then house of expenses. Saturn is sitting in the own sign. Saturn is a seizing planet. It seizes the things. So here the person will slow down in expenses because of Saturn. But sitting in the own house, Saturn will give expenses but very balanced in a strategical and organized way. The person will spend the money but very smartly. Okay, so you see how to come to a conclusion when you look into a chart, that what kind of person profession is and how he's gonna earn and what kind of expenses he will be having. But this is the one face of the birth chart. In another case, we make one more birth chart like this, which is called as D9 chart. When you go and make a kundali in your own computer software, it will give you a D9 chart also. In the D9 chart, you have to find all those planets in what sign they are sitting in what houses they are sitting in. Same like D1 chart. D1 is the outer self, D9 is the inner self of the person. And then you have to look into the D10 chart, which will also show up in your computer program. It will automatically make a D10 chart. D10 chart will tell you about the which is called Dashmasha, Dashmash, and D9 is called Navash. Navash Kundli. Navash is a 9 separate divisions of a house, and this Dashmash is 10 different divisions. Dashmash is used for the career and business. Navash is used for marriage consultations and a general inner capability of yourself. So in the D9 you have to find these all planets, in what sign they are sitting in, and what power does they have. Are they sitting in a good sign, or if the Mars is present in the number 9 sign here, that means he is sitting in a friendly sign. But in the D9 he might go into number 4, for example. Just assume that it is number 4. That means it is debilitated, it goes weak in the D9 chart. So that means the person's gains will be good in the beginning but will drop down after starting the business. When the Mars Dasha will come, only then. Okay, and then D10 chart, you have to look into the position on the D10 chart also, which finally tells you the exact power of these planets and how you're going to perform in your business. Okay, then there are a lot more details, like in which nakshatra Mercury is placed, in which nakshatra the Sun is placed, in which nakshatra the Mars is placed, and in which nakshatra Saturn is placed. You have to see the lords of those nakshatras and the power of those lords in the horoscope. Okay, one by one. So this is the general concept how to look into a birth chart, profession thing. There are a lot more combination. I'll explain you one by one in the other videos. So for now, just practice on this thing. Just take an idea and start looking into a birth chart, placement of the planets. Okay, so see you next time.